Hello, welcome to Mike's Courses. I'm Dan, and today we're going to be talking about selections. Now, first we gotta go find an image that we're going to use as an example. I'm going to use this image of little girl's room that I found on PhotoBucket. And, okay, so the first selection tools that we're going to look at are the marquee tools. And that's what you're going to find in this drop-down area here. We're going to use the rectangular marquee tool first. And what that does is it creates a rectangular selection when we drag and drop it. So let's drag and find our rectangle there, and we can move it around. We can select the whole image if we wanted to, and we could do things to the image as a whole. Also, with the rectangular marquee tool, you have this thing, a feather up here, that you can add if you want. And let's say we have a 25 pixel feather on this image. Let's see what happens. We're going to select it again, and now if you notice, there's actually a feather on each corner of 25 pixels. If we make that bigger, it's going to come in even more. Let's make it 50. Do the selection again, and it's even bigger curve. We're going to move on here to the lasso tools. Now we have the lasso tool, the polygon lasso tool, and the magnetic lasso tool. What the lasso tool does is it allows you to do the same thing with your selection as the rectangular marquee tool, except this one you can draw your own selection. So if I needed to make like a really weird shape with my selection, I could do it with the lasso tool. And we can move it around. We can do everything that we can with the other tools, or we can come up here and use the polygon lasso tool. So, and what this lets you do is it also lets you draw your own, but instead of just drawing it freehand, you use anchor points to create straight lines. So what that means is we can put an anchor point right there, and we have this kind of tail hanging off of the polygon lasso tool, and we can create another anchor point there, one there, and put at each corner of this photo up here if we wanted to select just the photo. And now we have the photo selected. Now we have a little bit of this in here, but for the sake of example, let's just say we got it. And now what we can do with this, we could edit just this picture. We could turn the brightness down on it if we wanted to go into our adjustments and mess with the brightness and see that the photo, the brightness of it's actually changing. So let's make it a little bit darker right there and just keep that. So now we're going to come to the magic wand tool. Everybody loves the magic wand tool. The magic wand tool is actually a very inadequate selection tool in my opinion, because what it's designed to do is select objects automatically by recognizing the colors of the pixels around them. And what that means is, in theory, I should be able to select this whole wall because it's pink. It's the same color. It should show up as an object. But if I do try and select this wall, I'm going to get a really weird shape because it thinks that this part of the wall is not joined to this part of the wall. It thinks it's a different object. And if I try to tell it no, this part too, it's just going to reselect that part of the wall. So you really want to be careful when using the magic wand tool, because it's hard to get a very accurate result with it. But in that same drop down menu, you have the quick selection tool. And what this lets you do is it lets you select parts of the it lets you create selections that the magic wand tool may have missed, but it also likes to grab extra things like that. So now we have part of the stereo selected, and there's no good way to unselect it without Control Z and trying to redo it. It's not going to work. You can't do that. And but something cool that the quick selection tool can do, it doesn't have to be one big shape. Let's say I needed this part and this wall over here. So we can edit multiple walls or multiple objects with the same selection. We're going to go create a new adjustments. Oops, sorry. Select some of this again. And we can mess with the brightness on those as well. And we can go back and mess with the vibrance and saturation, sorry, on those walls. But notice that it does miss certain things, and this part of the stereo is selected as well. So you may be thinking, how can we make a good selection, Dan? Well, I'd say the best way to get an accurate selection would be with the Quick Mask option on Photoshop. What the Quick Mask option lets you do is it allows you to use tools like the paintbrush or the gradient tool and instead use that as a selection. What that means, and how we go into Quick Mask, we press the Q on our keyboard. You press Q, and notice up here it now says Quick Mask. So I have my paintbrush selected, and let's say I want to select these, or let's pick something hard, like this candle right here. That would be really hard to get with the magic wand tool, or the rectangular marquee would fit weird on it. So let's use our paintbrush. We're going to paint it, and when we're in quick select, you're going to get this weird red that shows that you're doing quick select on this object. And so you can be as neat as you want. You can use any size brush that you want. And so now you have that. We're going to zoom back out, and we see that that's red. We're going to press Q again to go out of Quick Mask. And oh no, we've selected everything around what we just painted. Not to fear. You can invert it by pressing Control-Shift-I. And now we have our candle selected. And so let's say we wanted to make an adjustment to this candle. We wanted to affect the exposure on this candle, just on that part of the picture. We can make our candle very bright. We can make our candle very dark. But it is just affecting the candle. We're not getting any of these weird lines like over here. And I'd say that's probably the best way to select anything, but only you know what or how specific you have to be with what job you're doing. So use your judgment, and see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.